Hi Sunday Club at Home, welcome to today's video. Now this week we're going to continue following the church's theme that we've been looking at since January, which is called Origins, where we're looking at Genesis chapter 1 to 4, and we've been looking especially recently at God's creation. So before we get into looking a little bit more at God's creation as we read it in Genesis in the Bible, I'd love you to start by playing a game. So there's a game in this video that I've called Guess the Hobby Game. So what you've got is a few pictures, and I've zoomed in on the hobbies of the different people, and you just have to guess what the hobby might be, and then it will blow it out for you and you can see what the hobby is. So see how you get on with this game. So remember, there's going to be a picture of something that people enjoy doing. It will be really zoomed in on that picture. You've got to see if you can guess what the hobby might be based upon that zoomed in picture, and then it will be unzoomed and reveal what the actual hobby was, and see if you get it right. So how did you get on with that hobby quiz? Did you manage to get all 6 right? I hope you did. Now you might be wondering, Michael, why did you play a game linked about hobbies? Well, actually it links in really well with today's Bible passage. So like I said, we've been looking at a series called Origins at the moment, and we've gone right back to the beginning of Genesis. And this week we're going to be looking at what happened at the end of the creation. So, normally the church uses the New International Version, but sometimes at Sunday Club we like to use the International Children's Bible because it's sometimes a bit simpler and easier to understand. So I'm going to read from the International Children's Bible. So here is Genesis chapter 2 verses 1 to 3. So the sky, the earth, and all that filled them were finished. By the 7th day God finished the work he had been doing. So on the 7th day, he rested from all his work. God blessed the 7th day and made it a holy day. He made it a holy day because on that day he rested. He rested from all the work he had done in creating the world. So one of the amazing things that I learned at the beginning of this series from Rick in one of the adult sermons was that there's lots of amazing rich poetry that we can find in the Genesis story of creation. And one of them is that God, in the telling of the creation in Genesis, God made it in 7 days. And that's no coincidence, because it was to help us as humans to understand a working week, because we know a week is made up of 7 days. So what can we learn from God from the 7 days of his creation, and how can that affect our week that we have? Well, as we saw, God made the world in 6 days. So he worked for 6 days creating the world. But then on the 7th day, he rested. So on the 7th day, we're learning here that God rested. So what does that teach us? Well, if God needs to take a day of rest, well, definitely we need to take a rest as people who are made in his image. But much more than that, not only did God make a day of rest, he also, did you notice in verse 3, it said God blessed this day and he made it holy. Now the word holy means set apart. So for 5 or 6 days, we as humans, if we're parents, we work, or if we're children, we go to school and learn things at school, and lots of people enjoy going to work. In fact, I love making these videos for you guys, and this is work for me. But it's really clear from what we've learned that God wants us to have a day that is completely set apart from work, and is a really special day where we rest and we relax. And so one of the reasons why I played that game at the beginning, that hobby game, is that one of the amazing things and ways that we can relax is by doing something completely different to what we normally do on the other 5 or 6 days when we're working. So it's really good then to come up with a hobby that you can do on your day off. So like some of my examples, you might enjoy playing football, doing ballet, going for walks with your family. Maybe you like swimming. I know we can't do all of these right now because of a lockdown, but some of them we can. Maybe you enjoy cycling, or maybe enjoy taking day trips with your family to the beach and things like this. So what I thought would be lovely to do is think of what you enjoy doing to relax. Maybe you enjoy reading books or watching your favourite film. And what I'd love you to do is grab a piece of paper, grab some coloured pens or some coloured pencils, and then what I'd love you to do is draw yourself doing this activity that you love to do to relax on your day off. So it might be a hobby, or reading a book, or watching a film, or playing a sport. So I have started doing mine already. So here is a drawing of someone running, because one of the things that I love to do is go for runs. But also, I love looking at birds as well. So I love bird watching. And in fact, this weekend is the great garden bird watch. So if you can spend an hour today looking out on your bird feeders and seeing, counting all the birds that you see within 1 hour, and you can put that on the RSPB website. So I'm going to finish off these pictures because this one especially is looking a bit white. So I might add a little bit more grass. So a little bit more grass. So like I said, you can draw any hobby you like. It might be something that I haven't included. I'm trying to think of a hobby that I haven't included. Like maybe you enjoy playing tennis. I love doing tennis in the summer. Maybe you love skipping and you've got a skipping rope maybe, or maybe you've got a trampoline in your garden. Okay, so I added a bit more grass. Maybe I should also put some blue sky in here as well. So let's do a bit of blue sky. Let's be a bit creative and have 2 shades of blue, because the sky is often 2 different shades of blue. So obviously I'm not going to finish these, but there we go, I've added a bit more colour to that as well. So that's fantastic. So one thing that's really important is that we take our time to do some things that help us to relax. But what I also thought it might be nice to do is make a list of the top 10 things that you love to do when you're relaxing, or some things that you'd love to do as one-off activities with your families, or things that you're really looking forward to doing to help you to relax once we're allowed out of lockdown. So I've written a list here. Some of these things I can do now. Some of these things I'm looking forward to being able to do to relax in the future when lockdown's over. So I'll read you my 10, and it might be nice to ask your family or your grandparents as well, or your support bubble as well, what kind of things do they like doing to relax, and what kind of things they're looking forward to being able to do when winter's over and when lockdown's over. So I've got go for a long run in Greno Woods. I've got go on holiday to see my girlfriend. I'd love to see her because I haven't seen her for a long time. Go visit my family, because again I haven't seen them for a long time because they live in Cumbria at the moment. Go bird watching at RSPB Oldsmoor. So my support bubble is Pat and Steve Green, and Steve loves birds too, and he's told me that Oldsmoor is great for looking at birds and wildlife. Go cycling which I can do now. Maybe make a homemade meal for my girlfriend when she visits, go for a walk in the Peak District, meet up with friends, go to the beach, especially when it gets warmer, and go to Alton Towers to just have a great day in Alton Towers. So do think of your list of 10 things that you'd love to do to relax. And what I've decided to help you to understand this is that it's a bit like your phone. So your phone works really hard. You use it for, or maybe your iPad as well. If you're quite young, you might have an iPad or your parents' iPad that you borrow. Your phone or your iPad works really hard because you send messages with it or you play games on it, and that needs recharging. And it's the same with us. So we work really hard as humans. We go to school, we learn lots of work at school, we do homework. If you're parents, they go to work. And so we get really tired physically and emotionally. So at the end of the week, this is one of the reasons why God gave us a day of rest on the 7th day, so that we can recharge physically and emotionally like phones need to recharge so that they can work again. But actually, there's another really important thing about the 7th day, because did you notice that God also said that he made it a holy day? So another meaning for holy, as well as it meaning set apart, is we know that the only person who is holy is God. And God is the creator of all things, including you and me. So what he wants us to do on the 7th day is it's also known as the Sabbath day, which is basically a day that we spend remembering God and thanking God for all the amazing things he's done in our lives, and thanking him for creating us and saving us through Jesus. And one of the ways that people do that is by going to church and by singing songs and by listening to a sermon or watching a video like this, or spending some time with their parents in the evening, reading the Bible and praying. And the reason that's really, really important is, again, going back to this idea of a phone charger. Well, also throughout the week, we can get quite worried, we can get quite stressed, or maybe we might accidentally do a sin and do bad things, or we might just find life really difficult. And so it's really important for us to have a day. I mean, every day is a day when you can pray to God and trust God and seek God and build up your faith in him. But it's really important that we definitely have one day where we spend more time with God, spending time with him, learning to love him, learning more about him. And that's like us having a spiritual recharging. So having a spiritual recharging. So one way to spiritually recharge is also that you can just sing amazing songs. So I'd love for us now to watch this video of a song that the Logans sang, that it's a really amazing song. And it is, Our God is a Great Big God. Our God is a Great Big God. I love this song. And then after that as well, there's going to be another song that I'm going to play and put on the video by a really cool band called Awesome Cutlery, who have made children's songs, and they have allowed permission for churches to share their songs online as part of their Sunday material. And this song is all about saying that God made everything, but it's a really fun song and a really funny song, but it's also showing us that God made everything. So I'm going to say goodbye now, Sunday Club, but I hope you enjoy singing these songs and they will help you to be able to worship God. And just remember, have one day in the week where you spend time relaxing, doing something that you enjoy doing, and that you spend some time going to church and watching church online and spending some time in prayer and reading the Bible and singing with your family or on your own. And remember that the reason we do all this is so that we can get a physical and emotional recharging, but also so that we can get spiritual recharging. So goodbye, Sunday Club, and enjoy listening and worshipping to these songs. Bye.
Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. He's higher than a skyscraper, and He's deeper than a submarine. He's wider than the universe, and beyond my wildest dreams. And He's known me, and He's loved me since before the world began. How wonderful to be a part of God's amazing plan. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. He's higher than a skyscraper, and He's deeper than a submarine. He's wider than the universe, and beyond my wildest dreams. And He's known me, and He's loved me since before the world began. How wonderful to be a part of God's amazing plan. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. And He holds us in His hands. And He holds us in His hands.
There's an ant, plant, handspan, ham, spam, jam, tram, man, boy, girl, cheese, flan. There's a car, spa, tar, bar, aardvark, hardbark, shark, dog, park, walk, lark. God made everything you see. He made you and He made me. There's an ink, link, pink drink, zinc, blink, sync, rink. God made everything. There's a prawn, lawn, dawn, horn, pick, tick, picnic, zoo, lulu, tutu. There's a hot spot, not pot, top, cot, dot, yacht, bees, knees, flea, ski, sneeze. God made everything you see. He made you and He made me. There's a crane, brain, mainframe, plain grain, plain rain. God made everything. Oh, God made everything you see. He made you and He made me. When you look everywhere, stare. God made everything. There's an ant, plant, handspan, ham, spam, jam, tram, man, boy, girl, cheese, flan. There's a car, spa, tar, bar, aardvark, hardbark, shark, dog, park, walk, lark. God made everything you see. He made you and He made me. There's an inkling, pink drink, zinc, blink, sync, rink. God made everything. There's a prawn, lawn, dawn, horn, pick, tick, picnic, zoo, lulu, tutu. There's a hot spot, not pot, top, cot, dot, yacht, bee, sneeze, flea, ski, sneeze. God made everything you see. He made you and He made me. There's a crane, brain, mainframe, plain grain, plain rain. God made everything. Oh, God made everything you see. He made you and He made me. When you look everywhere, say God made everything. God made everything. God made everything.